lot of students come to me and ask me, so, all right, okay, I've understand the question, I've got a question, where do I start? And I think you have to start with the readings, right? So if you go back to our portal, and for each week we've gone to the choice of giving you readings. So compulsory readings, obviously, that we discuss in the but also further readings. So all of these readings are important for you to start. But obviously, if you want to broaden your reading list, which you have to do in your essay, really, what you should do is to go to each of these papers and do two things, really. One is to really look at the reading list that each of these papers, so in this case, this is the Scherer et al. Paper from week 3, where did they actually got the idea, the arguments, how did they build the arguments? So this is actually their final reference list at the end of the paper. So if you go to their reference list, you'll get an idea of how they actually constructed their argument. And there might be papers here that you want to also address, you also want to read to construct your own argument. But one thing I would definitely do, and thinking that this is a paper that was written, it was published in 1989, I would definitely go and look at who's referenced this paper, not just who they've referenced backwards, but who's referenced forward their paper. So to do that, basically, you go to the OneSearch portal of Lancaster University, and the faster way, I think, is to go directly to the paper. So you click on eJournal, you click on Entrepreneurship Theory and Practice, which is the journal that this paper was published on. Basically, there's a window that opens. You click on the one that has the earliest date, obviously, because you want to click here, and you wait a little bit patiently, just like the rest of us, really. And so all the issues for Entrepreneurship and Practice show up. You basically search within this publication. You can do this for any journal, really. Select an option, author, Scherer. If you can share as an author, you have. And if you click here, what you're going to have is the access to your paper. But here's something that's quite interesting. This idea that, these are the references that they've cited, but the times cited in this database are actually the times that people have cited this paper. So if you click here, you're going to go forward, right? Not backwards, but forward. So everyone that has actually written about this paper. And, you can see here the rules of learning orientation and passion for work in entrepreneurial intention, good paper. You can see here an examination of university student entrepreneurial intentions, very recent 2010 paper. You can see here, for instance, let's say motivation and impact of role models. The Radu and Loe paper from 2008, where they looked at the role models. We've gone forward in the sense that this paper was written in 1988. So who's referenced this paper? So the other thing you can do, so this you can do backwards and you can do forwards. A couple of people say, okay, Ricardo, now I've got a list of paper, I've read all of these papers. How do I remember all of this when I'm writing my essay? There's not much I can do about that, and except about telling you about a couple of books. This is one of them. So this describes the way you use cloud diagrams and mind maps to aggregate your research, and this is actually what I use to aggregate all my readings. But obviously, if you go a little bit wider, you can do a search for academic reading in the OneSearch again, and this will give you a couple of books that will tell you about reading and how do you extract maximum value from your reading.